Hey everyone, and welcome to Fineconomy, your mad world of finance and economy. Well, before I start off, I'd like to make an announcement that from now on, this podcast will be known as Fineconomy Talkies. Well, with that done, let's jump right into today's episode. India, as a nation, has never had quality government healthcare for the poor, and thus it falls upon the private sector to fill that void. Devi Shetty's Narayana Healthcare is one of the very few companies that have been successfully able to fill that void by being the providers of the poor. I was first introduced to Narayana Healthcare through a Harvard Business School case study, and ever since, my affinity for the company and its business model has only grown. Started in 2000 in Bengaluru by one of India's best heart specialists and surgeons, Dr. Devi Shetty, the company has grown into a multi specialty hospital chain. The company has seen Devi become nothing short of an icon as he spearheads an empire that has shown the world that cardiovascular surgeries can be done for as low as $2,000 or even free if need be. Devi's story is one worthy of sharing as he has donned the many hats required when servicing the problems plaguing the health sector of developing countries like ours. He has been a philanthrope, entrepreneur, visionary, doctor, and most importantly, a leader. He introduced and provided poor rural farmers with health insurances at a time when insurance policies were an alien concept in India. He has pioneered low cost cardiovascular surgery, something that till date stands an achievement unique to him. I'm sorry to sound like an overexcited teenager, but I must say that this man and his entrepreneurial footprints have had a deep impact on me. Growing up with startups being all the rage, Devi's story has resonated with my innate ambitions and visions. Having since childhood grown hearing names like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, I've always had that hunger and desire to do my own bit for the planet and mankind that would have a powerful and deep impact in our lives. I wanted to share the story of this man and his company with the viewers, as I feel that this particular entrepreneurial venture can help guide our viewers with their own insanely amazing ambitions while simultaneously also helping expand their visions. For me, the most exciting aspect of Narayana Healthcare's business model is the cross subsidy revenue system that has enabled them to provide free healthcare to the poor. The company is one of the few in India which has been able to successfully generate healthy revenue growth rates the past few years while also providing the services for free to the poor. A better way of putting that robust growth would be that they are able to add a new flow to some of the hospitals every year through the revenue earned. The revenue system, in simple words, gets the funding for the poor from the other patients. Yes, that does sound very intimidating, and thus I will be looking at some figures to help clarify that concept for you. The hospital's break even cost for a surgery stands at $2,000, and the maximum that they demand a patient is $3,500. So, whenever a patient walks into the hospital, they basically ask the patient to pay whatever they can pay. The ones paying $2,000 are able to meet the break even cost, so their payment is used for their treatment entirely, whilst anybody else paying above that is paying a surplus after they require 2000. This surplus is then collected into a corpus, which is then used to pay for the treatment of the patient who is unable to pay even the bare minimum $2,000. While that sounds pretty cool, the model has its own share of pros and cons. The revenue model is one of the many entrepreneurial solutions to various obstacles faced by the company that today form the heart of the company. And while I could have gone rambling about the great entrepreneurial solutions of Narayana Healthcare, I felt that the purpose of this episode wasn't to talk about the company, but to rather see it as an example that can help explain something bigger and much deeper. With this example, I wanted to ignite that passion and desire to tackle the impossible, the unattainable, and the unheard of head on in our pursuit of an insane and mad idea. This drive is what will help propel our world into a new millennium that would be far removed from today's time with technology bearing different heights and different meanings in our lives. It falls upon us to provide fuel to the drive with our own aspirations. Take, for example, Devi's passion to lower the cost of heart surgery from an exorbitant $40,000 to a mere $2,000, which was the very definition of impossible when Devi decided to tackle it head on in the early 2000s. His drive helped shift the paradigm of heart surgeries as for the first time you could get one done for as good as nothing. Sure, the journey towards that final solution wasn't smooth sailing, but then again, without the obstacles, it wouldn't have been an entrepreneurial venture. That journey, while bumpy, was certainly fulfilling as today he stands among the greatest figures of all times for his works in the medical arena that have helped make this once necessary luxury accessible to every Indian. All that I'm trying to say is that be passionate, bold, and most of all ambitious with your head constantly floating above the clouds. There is a very famous saying by Richard Branson that if your dreams don't scare you, they are too small. And with that, I leave you until the next episode. Sleep on that thought and ponder whether you can be the next Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or Elon Musk or even a Devi Shetty. Signing off, Aditya here.